3,
Set.
2, 1. One more. We did it when we beat Quest.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
No,
you guys, we did it when we beat Quest. One more.
Hey,
Excellent. 3, 2.
Hey, let him close his paper. No, let him get his paper. Just get the
Pretty
paper.
nice.
We are in the podcast room.
3, 2, 1.
Ow.
Let's go.
That actually hurts.
My name is Bob.
But isn't the point of that?
For Mr. Bong.
Yeah, Mr. Bong.
Okay,
Whoa.
sure, that works too.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Hand in the
Chicka
middle.
chicka sling.
Try not to knock over the water.
Jason, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, they can. Everyone ready to go back there?
Yes.
Joyce, are you ready to
We're
go?
in peace.
Okay.
No.
One,
Say when.
2,
Slim
3.
Shady.
Hunter, 4.
Okay.
All
do we have
right,
any
boys.
people?
All right. Are both teams ready?
Let's go, Eagles.
Yeah.
Let's fly.
But I have a question.
Yes,
Are
question.
these being like going to a speaker?
no.
Sorry. Could you?
Are these like are our voices being projected on a speaker or something?
Yes, they should
Whoa.
Oh wait, this is my buzzer.
This is cool. Whoa. This is cool. Making stuff. Garsh can't swear now.
You can't.
What?
I mean,
Ding. 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 Ding.
Okay.
Ding. Okay, let's stop now.
Timepieces are the wave of the future.
hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
No, you.
Ligma.
Do now again. What if I
Go,
cough?
guys.
Fortnite
Who are we?
streamers.
We are
Everyone knows
Aptakisic.
you
Let's go.
This is kind of
We are the
Everyone knows
Aptakisic
you cough.
Derpy Eagles. The room
I'm
suddenly
an
goes
eagle
silent.
and I'm derpy.
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Never give.
All right. Are both teams ready?
Yeah. Oh, dang.
Okay.
Oh, wait, they got
All right then.
Hi.
Hi.
All right. Good afternoon and welcome to round 21 of the 2019 NAQT Middle School National Championship Tournament. Our two teams in the Rosemont Ballroom this afternoon are on my left, Hunter A. from New York, and on my right, Aptakisic from Illinois. Are both teams ready to begin this round 21?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. 9 minutes on the clock. This is round 21, toss-up 1. John C. Bennett implicated this man in the attempted murder of Lilburn Boggs due to actions taken by Boggs as governor of Missouri. Sidney Rigdon and this man operated an illegal bank in Kirtland, Ohio in the 1830s. After being jailed for inciting a riot in Carthage, Illinois, this man was killed by a mob.
Smith?
10. Bonus. For 10 points each, name these probability distributions. This term names a flat distribution, sometimes called a rectangular distribution, which has equal probability density over all possible outcomes.
Normal? No.
No.
Could be. There's
Why does
easy
stuff
stuff.
called Academy stuff? I don't know. Normal.
Uniform. This
Oh.
distribution, named for a French mathematician, is often used to model the
Gaussian?
number of times an event will occur in
I
a
don't know
given
Gaussian.
interval.
I think actually.
Number of times
Wait,
in
was
an
Gauss,
interval.
was Gauss even French?
No.
I don't know.
Try Descartes.
Croissant. This prototypical power law distribution is often used to model wealth distribution, sometimes using its namesake's 80-20 rule.
80-20.
Wait,
It's like, what are these? What are these for taxes?
I don't know. Normal.
Answer, please.
Normal.
That's Pareto, and that's 0.
Okay.
Toss up 2. These particles formed a diffraction pattern after scattering off a nickel crystal in the Davison-Germer experiment. While studying cathode ray tubes, these particles,
Oh, shoot. Alpha?
-5. These particles were discovered by J.J. Thomson. The charge of these particles was measured in the Millikan oil drop experiment. For 10 points, name these negatively charged subatomic particles found in a cloud around the atomic nucleus.
Electrons?
10. Bonus. This character first appeared in a 1939 story in which he, his siblings, and his mother Pamplemousse are helped across a ravine by Cecily Giraffe for 10 points each. Name this mischievous creation of H.A. and Margaret Ray.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Curious George.
Yes, Curious George is captured from the jungle by a man who is commonly referred to as wearing one of these specific items of headgear.
Yellow hat.
Yes, George coins the terms dog, glidge, and blim in a book in which he learns about this specific subject. Dr. Seuss's On Beyond Zebra proposes extensions to this subject.
Alphabet.
Yes, for 30. Toss up 3. This word is the last name of the long-tenured host of the public radio interview show Fresh Air, a black-clad.
Gross.
15.
Nice.
Bonus. A photograph taken after this event shows an uprooted tree that had smashed through John Schultz's house for 10 points each. In this 1889 disaster, often blamed on the South Fork Fishing and Hunting Club's reckless modification to the South Fork Dam. Answer, please.
The Mississippi River flood.
The Johnstown flood. Johnstown is in this state whose resident robber barons Andrew Carnegie and Henry Clay Frick donated to the relief effort.
Pennsylvania.
Yes, the American Red Cross also helped with the relief effort under the direction of this woman who founded the organization.
Barton? Yeah, probably. Barton?
Yes, for 20. Toss up 4. The main characters of this series make a museum using rocks, flowers, and shells in its second volume, Surprised Island. The Steel Baron James Henry Alden takes care of the title characters of this series. This series, whose protagonists are named Henry, Jesse, Violet, and Benny,
The Boxcar Children.
for 15. Bonus. This volcano's 1980 eruption killed 57 people for 10 points each, and this mountain that blew its top in Washington State.
Mount St. Helens.
Yeah.
Mount St. Helens.
Yes, most of the deaths were caused by these flows of hot gas and
Pyroclastic
volcanic
flows.
matter that can travel at over 100 miles per hour.
Pyroclastic flows.
Yes, the volcanic activity of Mount St. Helens is a consequence of this process driving the Juan de Fuca plate underneath the North American plate.
Subduction. Subduction.
Yes, for 30.
Okay, come on.
Toss up 5. The Sabatier principle states that interactions involving these substances have an optimal strength. The Ziegler-Natta class of these substances are used in synthesis of some alkenes. Biological examples of these substances that create new reaction mechanisms include enzymes.
Catalysts?
For 10. Bonus. In his 1944 State of the Union, Franklin Roosevelt outlined his plan for a second one of these entities for 10 points each. Name this entity, which is made up of the first 10 constitutional amendments.
Bill of Rights.
Yes, Roosevelt's second Bill of Rights has several similarities with this other, smaller set of goals that he proposed in 1941.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I guess that works. The Four Freedoms.
Yes, video footage of the speech was thought to be lost until 2008, when it was found by this documentarian while he was researching his film, Capitalism, A Love Story. Answer, please.
Smith.
Michael Moore, and that's 20. Toss up 6. In Disappointments of the Ash Can by George Bellows, the presence of these creatures frustrates a vagrant. In A Song of Ice and Fire, the leader of the Unsullied is named for a gray one of these creatures.
Worm.
15. Bonus. This city was formerly known as Königsberg when it was part of East Prussia for 10 points each, named this Russian exclave on the Baltic Sea coast.
Differ. I don't trust
Kaliningrad.
Yes, Königsberg was both the birthplace and burial place of this 18th century German philosopher who developed the categorical imperative in his groundwork of the metaphysics of morals.
Isn't that, where was it, Swiss or something?
Answer, please.
Kant.
Yes. To the southwest, Kaliningrad Oblast borders this country, whose capital is Warsaw.
Poland.
Yes, 430. Toss up 7. The critic Irving Howe wrote that the day this novel appeared, American culture was changed forever. This novel's protagonist reads a newspaper article about himself that compares him to a jungle beast. A communist attorney named Boris Max defends this novel's protagonist after he kills both his girlfriend Bessie and Mary Dalton. For 10 points in this 1940 novel about Bigger Thomas, a work by Richard Wright.
Native Son.
10. Bonus. Pencil and paper ready. For 10 points each, give these answers about the fourth quadrant. All or nothing, which 2 of the 6 basic trigonometric functions are positive in the fourth quadrant?
No idea. Yeah, sure.
Answers, please.
Sine and cosine.
Cosine and secant. In an Argand diagram, which component of a complex number is negative in the fourth quadrant? That's the imaginary component. Expressing your answer as a whole number of degrees, give a measurement that is between negative 500 and negative 1,000 degrees and represents an angle in the fourth quadrant. You have 10 seconds. Answer, please.
Negative 600.
It's between negative 720 and negative 810, so that's 0 and timeout.
Also, yeah. Can we protest that I should have been accepted?
Wait, just
for
half
that?
You may, and that is
What?
noted.
Okay, thank you.
It's halftime.
Okay.
Okay.
Plenty of time for
We
a
got time.
comeback.
It was
Oh,
that our
yeah.
one time for the entire game.
Dude, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
We just need to get one question, it'll start us off.
Ideally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ideally.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
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 You guys, we got this. Come on.
Okay, Austin, one thing.
Bro, we're fine.
I know what it feels like. If you think, hey, can it be
Yeah.
this? Like, is it this? If you get that vibe, vibe.
We got
just
this,
buzz,
okay, guys? Come on, boys. Come on. A little bit of hype. Let's go.
Let's try for no accidental
Guys,
vaulting.
we're playing a West, okay?
Yeah.
Bro, but they were winning.
Yep.
Let's do
All right,
9
guys.
minutes in the
Seriously,
again.
let's
Another
full
9
force.
minutes.
Gail
We're gonna
start.
be okay.
Gail
Franklin,
start.
remember Franklin?
Yes,
Yeah,
let's
let's
go.
go.
Yeah,
Longfellow.
that's
Come on,
where
Gail
mine
start.
works
Longfellow
even.
too.
Yes, dark matter.
Dark matter not.
You,
matter.
you blame Jonah.
They're
Dark
getting the
matter.
toss
Okay.
ups. They're not better.
If dark matter
okay?
came up again, that'd be
All right,
nice.
are both teams ready to resume play?
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Yes.
Okay. That is correct, yes. Okay, are both teams ready?
Yes.
All right. This is toss-up 8. The Conrad discontinuity is found in many of these structures where it may separate an upper Sial layer and a lower Sema layer. Very old material are exposed in these structures' shields, which are part of their cratons. These structures grouped together during the Precambrian to form Rodinia. Superformations such as
Continent?
10. Bonus. Chris Martin sings about Spider-Man's control in a collaboration between this band and Coldplay for 10 points each. Name this EDM pop duo behind something just like this.
The Chainsmokers.
Okay, defer.
The Chainsmokers.
Yes, the third most streamed song on Spotify is this Chainsmokers song, which features Halsey. Its chorus mentions a mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder.
Okay, defer.
Closer.
Yes, the Chainsmokers song Paris was publicly insulted by Matty Healy, frontman of this English indie band, who also have a song called Paris. Their singles include The Sound and Love Me.
Okay, this might be you too, I'm not sure.
Okay, sure.
I know they're Irish, but yeah.
Answer, please. As the 1975 for 20. Toss-up 9. This empire lost control of Boeotia after its commanders Mardonius and Artabazos were crushed at the Battle of Plataea. This empire supported Miletus.
Achaemenid Persian?
Yes, for 15. Bonus, for 10 points each, name these Egyptian pharaohs. This pharaoh united the crowns of Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BC to found the first dynasty.
I think it's Narmer? Narmer?
Yes, this 18th dynasty pharaoh, the husband of Nefertiti and likely father of Tutankhamun, attempted to reform Egyptian religion to focus on a single solar god.
Akhenaten.
Yes. This great pharaoh of the New Kingdom built the Abu Simbel temples and fought the Hittites at Kadesh.
Ramses.
Prompt?
The second.
Yes. And that's 30. Could I have a score check, please?
Yeah, but they said the great in the question, so
right.
I can't say it. Or at least they won't count it as
Okay, guys.
I mean, like, we're not gonna get grilled.
Yes, the 5 points.
Speed up.
They kind of are.
You're doing a really good job at winning buzzer races.
I haven't won that. Like, you're still doing this.
Now you are. Or you're doing most of the work on toss-ups.
Let's just do this.
You're good at winning buzzer races. I know.
Nike Switch, just do
You've
it.
been winning a lot of buzzer races.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
We're just.
Listed answer line is Persian Empire or Achaemenid Empire. They gave all of it. Take it, absolutely. All right, are both teams ready to continue? Aptakisic, Hunter?
Yeah.
All right.
Dun, dun.
All right, both teams ready to go? Jason, we have 9 minutes on the clock. All right. We have the second half beginning with toss-up 10. The shadow cast by an outstretched hand in this painting appears to cradle a lion embroidered on a man's white outfit. In this painting, lines created by arquebuses, partisans, flagpoles, and halberds converge on the two central men, one of whom is Franz Bonning Koch. A dog looks
The Night Watch.
10. Bonus. Some stories of this woman's death say it happened when she was dancing with naiads at her wedding. Others say she was fleeing from Aristeus for 10 points each. Name this woman who in all stories died after stepping on and being bitten by a viper.
This is, yeah, Eurydice.
Yes, Eurydice married this legendary Greek musician who failed in his attempt to retrieve her from the underworld.
Orpheus.
Yes, Orpheus eventually died from being torn apart by Maenads, much like this king of Thebes who earned their enmity by banning the worship of Dionysus.
Dang it, who was this?
Okay, this could be, they always get killed.
Yeah, true.
Answer, please.
Canis.
Pentheus for 20. Toss up 11. This state's Door County is often a site
Wisconsin.
for 15.
One
Bonus.
question.
10 points each answer these questions about Christian Huygens. Huygens studied the rings of Saturn and discovered what moon its largest satellite. Yes, Huygens was the first physicist to correctly quantify what type of force that causes a body to move along a circular path.
Gravity?
Centripetal. Huygens also studied the properties of what physical devices, one of which Henry Cater used to determine the acceleration due to gravity.
Acceleration. A pendulum?
Yes, and that's 20. Toss up 12. These four texts are said to constitute that which is heard, while later inspired texts contain that which is remembered. That is, these texts are described by the
The
term
Gospels.
-5. The term shruti rather than smrti. These texts include hymns and mantras in their samhitas, instructions for rituals in the Brahmanas, and philosophical discussions in the Upanishads. For 10 points, name these four sacred books of Hinduism.
Vedas.
10. Bonus. For 10 points each, answer the following about geese in the genus Branta. The common name of Brantoleucopsis refers to the erroneous belief that geese spawn from these sessile crustaceans that attach to ships, piers, and whales. Yes, Branta santaventus, or the Nene, likely evolved from Canada geese that colonized islands in this Pacific archipelago, once known as the Sandwich Islands.
Hawaii.
Yes, several pairs of Branta canadensis were sent to King Louis XIII by this French explorer, who founded Quebec City and is known as the father of New France.
Montreal. Montreal.
Samuel Champlain, and that's 20. Toss up 13. The general staff accused this man of writing a bordereau to Max von Schwarzkoppen. Georges Picquet discovered that an action
Dreyfus.
attributed 15. Bonus for 10 points each. Answer the following about agencies under the U.S. Department of Commerce. A bureau in the Commerce Department administers this nationwide count of the U.S. population every 10 years.
Census.
Yes. While the Copyright Office records copyright and intellectual property, this Commerce Department office files records of novel inventions.
Patent.
Yes, the National Hurricane Center and National Weather Service are sub-agencies of this scientific organization that monitors the atmosphere and seas.
Oh my god. NOAA? NOAA?
Yes, 430. Toss up 14. Both Directions at Once is a rediscovered album by this man that was released in 2018. A gong opens one album by this artist in which he chants the album's name repeatedly on the track acknowledgement. This man and Cannonball Adderley played saxophone on Kind
Coltrane.
Yes, 15. A failed precursor to this campaign was started by Peter the Hermit and mostly succeeded in massacring Jews in the
Crusade.
Rhineland. Prompt.
First.
Yes. This pope called for the first crusade. But
Urban
died.
II.
Yes. In 1099, Crusaders succeeded in conquering this city sacred to Jews, Christians, and Muslims.
Jerusalem.
1230. Toss up 15. A selective modulator of this compound's receptor, tamoxifen, is a common anti-cancer agent. The three naturally occurring forms of this hormone are a ketone, a diol, and a triol. The levels of this hormone are highest during the follicular phase, 2 days before a surge in LH.
Adrenaline.
And -5. The widening of hips and growth of breasts occur in response to increases in for 10 points.
Estrogen?
10.
Nice.
Yes. Bonus. In 2018, this company sued a passenger over hidden city ticketing, in which a flyer books a flight with a layover, but only travels to the layover destination. For 10 points each, name this European airline that operates the low-cost subsidiary German Wings.
Lufthansa.
Yes. In 2014, this airline sued skiplag.com, a search engine for hidden city tickets. A viral 2017 video showed a doctor being forcibly removed.
United.
Yes.
Nice.
That 2014 lawsuit also involved Orbitz, which is now owned by this travel website that also operates Trivago, Hotels.com, and Travelocity.
TripAdvisor?
Expedia, and that's 20.
Time out.
Time.
Let's go.
Next one will be toss-up number 16. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we'll wait and see at the end and then find out what we're going to do. All right, are both teams ready to continue? Aptakisic, Hunter? Okay. All right. Both teams are ready. We'll restart with toss-up number 16. In March 2019, this politician apologized for his country's past mistreatment of indigenous people with tuberculosis. This politician was criticized for interfering with Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould's prosecution.
Justin Trudeau.
15. Bonus. A massive gas cloud called Lyman Alpha Blob 1 is in this constellation for 10 points each. Named the Zodiac constellation, it also contains Gliese 876. It's near Cetus and Pisces.
Maybe Cancer? Like Aquarius? I don't even know. Cancer?
Aquarius. Aquarius'
sorry.
beta star is the first G-type supergiant detected to be producing this type of radiation from its corona. The Chandra Observatory detects this radiation, which was discovered by Wilhelm Röntgen.
Okay, Gamma?
X-rays. Aquarius also contains the so-called Eye of God, which is one of these clouds of interstellar dust and gas.
Like a nebula?
Answer, please.
Nebula?
Yes, for 10.
Okay.
Toss-up 17. During negotiations for the 1667 Treaty of Breda, England offered to exchange New York for what is now this country. The highest mountain in this country is named for Princess Juliana. This country's southern border is a rainforest region adjoining the Brazilian state of Pará. Points.
Surname?
Yes. Nice. Bonus. A report on the danger of this house's cantilever elements is buried in one of its walls for 10 points each. What private home completed in 1939 is noted for its stone elements and its sharp horizontal and vertical lines?
Yeah. Falling Water.
Yes. Falling Water was built by this American architect who developed the design concept of Usonia.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yes. Wright was a pioneer of this architectural movement whose emphasis on horizontal line, low profile roof, and broad eaves evokes the landscape of the Midwest.
This was like the Prairie School.
Oh, yeah. The Prairie School?
Yes, for 30.
Good job.
Toss up 18. Democrats in this state were stopped from holding whites-only primaries by the Supreme Court ruling in Terry v. Adams and Smith v. Allwright. In 1989, the Supreme Court invalidated this state's law that criminalized desecration of the American flag. A 2003.
Texas?
Yes.
Texas.
Bonus. This author's fictional Yocnapatawpha County is based on the rural history of his native Mississippi for 10 points each. Name this author of the novels As I Lie Dying and The Sound of the Fury.
Faulkner.
Yes, the title of Faulkner's novel about the life of Thomas Sutpen twice repeats the name of this biblical figure, described in the Old Testament as the third son of King David.
Absalom.
Yes, both The Sound and the Fury and Absalom feature Quentin, a suicidal Harvard student with this surname.
Oh, dang. Yeah, just say that. Defer.
Blake.
That's Compson, and that's 20.
Oh,
Toss up 19. Michael and Heather Martin gained notoriety on this platform using the alias Family05. In 2018,
YouTube.
15.
Nice.
Bonus, this man reportedly warned Plymouth about an impending attack after Edward Winslow gave him medical care for 10 points each. In this Wampanoag leader, he nearly attacked
Houghton?
Plymouth in the 1620s after colonists
Houghton.
refused.
Yeah. Houghton.
That's Massasoit. Peace between Massasoit and Plymouth was the work of this military advisor. His supposed courtship of
Squanto.
that's Standish. The 1670s war in which Plymouth and nearby colonies defeated a Native American alliance is named for Massasoit's son.
Nah.
Wait, song?
Song?
Bro.
Answer, please.
250 IQ.
That's King Philip's War, and that's 0. Toss up 20. Richard Feynman developed a contempt for the safety culture during his own investigation into this event.
The calendar disaster?
Yes, for 15. Bonus. Cold War commentators mockingly described the Soviet Union as being a version of this impoverished country with rockets for 10 points each. What former country was renamed Burkina Faso in the 1980s?
Wait, is this just French West Africa? French West Africa?
Upper Volta. The Volta River reaches the Atlantic in this African country where President Kwame Nkrumah green-lighted the Akosombo Dam to create Lake Volta.
Is this Cote d'Ivoire? Wait, no, maybe?
All right, guys, it's okay.
Answer, please.
Ghana?
Yes, the Volta River forms part of the border between Ghana and this country to the west, whose name refers to a product derived from elephants.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes, for 20. Toss up 21. The world's largest producer of this food is now the Chinese company Kaluga Queen. This food is often eaten with a mother-of-pearl spoon since silver oxidizes on contact. Crepe-like pancakes called blini are often used to serve this food.
Eggs?
Time, -5. whose traditional varieties include sterlet, sevruga, and osetra. It was historically produced in the Caspian Sea from sturgeon for 10 points.
Caviar?
Yes, and that's 10. All right, and a bonus. The grateful King Hygelac bestows a gem-encrusted example of these objects called nagling for 10 points each. Another example of what type of weapon dissolves when touched by the blood of Grendel.
Oh, blow of Grendel, touched by blow of Grendel. Weapon dissolved. Sword?
Yes.
Oh.
This Geatish hero kills Grendel's mother with a sword
Beowulf.
taken from the monster's own
Beowulf.
hoard. Yes. Beowulf's sword Negling breaks in a final battle with a dragon, during which this warrior is the only one to join
Wiggle
Beowulf
off.
in combat.
Wiggle off.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's 30. If I have a final score,
Lido.
please.